Some books aren't sought, they find you when you're ready. This is one of them. The enigmatic book You Were Born Rich doesn't arrive by accident. It arrives when you are ready to stop surviving and begin to create. You are not here by luck. You are here because something inside you is awakening. A silent call, a certainty. You did not come to this life to struggle. You came to remember who you are, abundance in motion. And this book is reminding you. No matter how much you have failed, how much you have been told you cannot, your soul already knew. You were born for wealth. And if you feel it, subscribe now and comment. I was born to be wealth, so that this commitment with you is sealed because you are not reading a book. You are listening to your true voice, the one that always knew you were limitless. Chapter 1. Wealth is not something you seek, it is something you already are. You are already rich. You don't need to become rich. You only need to awaken to that truth. This phrase is not a spiritual metaphor. It is a blunt truth that the enigmatic book wants you to remember. You did not come to this earth to pursue wealth as if it were a distant prize. You came to express your inner abundance in the form of ideas, actions, decisions, and results. Everything you need is inside you, not in the banks, nor in luck, nor in blind effort. Most were conditioned to believe that first you have to do a lot to have something and only then be someone valuable. But that is the formula for exhaustion. The true formula is the reverse. First, be wealth and wealth will present itself. When you recognize yourself as the origin of what you desire, you stop being a beggar to the world. You no longer ask, you decide. You no longer wait, you choose. Because you understand that life does not respond to what you beg for, but to what you assume as truth. And if until now your results do not reflect wealth, that does not mean you don't deserve it. It only means you have not been acting from your true identity. You are a mind with a body, not a body with a mind. That changes everything. Because if you are mind and your mind is capable of imagining, visualizing, and feeling limitless possibilities, then you are also capable of creating a life that reflects exactly that. This is where most stumble. They believe wealth is a reward you get after sacrificing yourself, but the enigmatic book clarifies it. Wealth is a reflection of your self-concept. What you believe you are, you project. So you don't need to strive more. You need to believe differently, feel differently, see yourself differently. Ask yourself this question. Do you see yourself as a rich person or as someone trying to become one? That distinction changes everything because the universe does not give you what you want, it gives you what you are. So, if you are already wealth, what decisions would you make today? How would you speak? How would you walk? What would you invest your time, your energy, your focus in? Start acting as if you already were, and soon you will be so in your physical world as well. That is not arrogance, it is spiritual coherence because you were born with power, with intelligence, with intention. You are not an accident. You are an exact design of abundance. This book did not come to give you hope. It came to activate you, to shake you free from the lie, from scarcity, to remind you that you did not come to this life to survive. You came to manifest. And if you are here, it is because you are already ready to stop waiting for miracles and start making the miracle. Remember this. It's not about seeking wealth. It's about expressing it because you already are wealth. Chapter 2. The secret is in your internal image. Did you know that your bank account is reflecting something much deeper than your financial decisions? It is showing an image, a silent but powerful image that lives inside you, because the truth is this. You cannot earn more than what you believe you deserve. And that, believe it or not, is governed by your self-image. The image you have of yourself determines the amount of wealth you are willing to allow into your life. Think about it. You can have the best opportunities, the best knowledge, even a stroke of luck. But if your internal image remains that of a limited, indebted, or insufficient person, you will sabotage everything because no one can act consistently in a way that is incompatible with their self-image. This is the principle many ignore. They change jobs, partners, countries, but they don't change the image they have of themselves. And then they wonder, why does nothing improve? All lasting progress begins within. Change the image and you will change your destiny. Take a moment and answer this with brutal honesty. How do you really see yourself? As someone successful, worthy, capable of achieving what they desire, or as someone who is always about to but never does. What you see inside, you attract outside. The enigmatic book reveals it plainly. If you want lasting abundance, you need to redesign the image you have of yourself, because you are manifesting not what you desire but what you believe you are. Imagine your mind is a thermostat. You may want more money, more success, more freedom. But if your internal thermostat is set on scarcity, every time you surpass a level, something will happen to bring you back to the known zone. You will lose, sabotage, or let opportunities pass you by without realizing it. The solution is to raise that thermostat. How? By reprogramming your self-image. And that begins with repetition, visualization, and above all, with intense emotions associated with your new identity. It is not enough to say, "I am abundant." You must feel it as a living truth. You must see yourself already being that person. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now you are a powerful being born with the seed of wealth, but that seed does not bloom in doubt. It blooms in certainty. And here is the powerful part. Your subconscious does not distinguish between the real and the intensely imagined. If every day you start seeing yourself as a rich, generous, decisive person, you are already activating that new pattern. Do it every day without fail, because it's not about having luck, it's about having clarity. Visualize in detail. Feel the joy of living with abundance. Walk, talk, and decide as if you were already there, because the stronger your internal image, the faster the universe aligns with you. You are not here by chance. This knowledge has come to you because you are already ready for a transformation. The universe does not deliver this kind of message to someone who is not prepared. And if you are listening to this, it is because you are already ready to make wealth. But now the next step depends on you. Do you dare to see yourself differently? Do you dare to leave behind that old identity of scarcity and begin to act as the rich person you truly are? This is the moment. This is the turning point. Because when you change your image, you change your world. Chapter 3. The image of wealth that dwells within you. You are not poor, you are not limited, you never were. You only lack seeing clearly who you really are. Everything you need to enjoy a prosperous life is already within you. You don't need to obtain anything external, only awaken your consciousness of wealth. Can you feel it? There is a version of you that already lives in abundance, that walks with certainty, that attracts opportunities just by existing. That version is not in the future, it is waiting within you. Since you were born, you were programmed by your environment. You were told that money was scarce, that you had to struggle to survive, that only some fortunate ones achieved success. But none of that is true. Those ideas are not yours. They are images that others placed in your mind. What this enigmatic book reveals to you is that you can change that image. You can break that old mirror and paint a new one. The image you have of yourself controls every result you get. If you want wealth, you must first see yourself as someone who already deserves it. Have you observed yourself with love lately? Have you imagined what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail? The secret is not in working harder, but in raising your self-perception. Money always moves towards people who feel valuable, capable, and sure of what they deserve. It's not magic, it's law. External wealth is a reflection of internal wealth. And how do you change that internal image? You start by speaking to yourself differently, by acting differently, by walking as if you already were who you want to be. Imagine this. You enter a room not seeking approval, but knowing that you are the opportunity, that your presence, your ideas, your energy are already valuable. That image is not built with arrogance, but with inner clarity. All lasting change begins in the mind. Change the way you see yourself and the world will respond. This is where many fail. They want results without transformation. They want money without deservingness, but this book makes it clear to you. You cannot attract what you do not feel you are. If you see yourself as poor, limited, insecure, that is what the universe will reflect. But if you right now begin to recognize yourself as a prosperous, blessed, valuable being, everything begins to change. Business flows, ideas come, the right people appear because you are not acting from need but from fullness. Do this now. Sit up straight, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and see yourself with success, with peace, with purpose. That image you are seeing is already you. You only need to repeat it, hold it, believe it. It is not enough to desire. You must see yourself living the life you desire, with emotion, with certainty, as if it were already yours. Because it is, because it always was, because wealth already dwells within you. You were just distracted by the images that others placed before your eyes. And if you feel this knowledge is igniting something within you, subscribe now and comment. I'm ready to be wealth, so you know you are on the path to your transformation. See you in the next chapter. Your inner image is about to be fully revealed. Chapter 4. The silent change that transforms everything. And if what you need to change your life is not to shout it to the world, but to whisper it within yourself, most people wait for a big event, a noisy signal, a stroke of luck to start living with purpose. But those who understand how true wealth works know that great changes make no noise. They occur in silence, deep within you, in your way of thinking, of feeling, of deciding. You are already surrounded by abundance. You don't need to create it, you need to allow it. This phrase from the enigmatic book is a key, because what changes your life is not what you do, but from where you do it. Are you working from scarcity, from anxiety, from pressure? Or have you already taken that subtle leap, that inner turn that says, I deserve this, it is natural for me to prosper? That invisible change is what transforms a desire into an inevitable reality, because you were born to be wealth. You did not come to this life to survive, but to expand. And that change begins when you understand this. Your mind is already connected to the source of everything you desire. There is no scarcity. What there is a programming that blocks what is already yours. Change the image you have of yourself and your world will have no choice. It will follow you. That image is not a motivational cliché, it is the core of your experience. If you see yourself as small, the world shrinks you. If you see yourself as powerful, the universe cooperates. The great secret is this: do not wait for your bank account to change to feel prosperous. Feel prosperous and your account will change. Do you see? It's the reverse of how we were taught. It's not having to be, it's being to have. Imagine this, a river of gold flowing all around you. But if your eyes are closed, you don't see it. If you are afraid, you don't take it. If you doubt, you reject it. The silent change is when you decide to open your eyes, extend your hands, accept. That act of acceptance changes your destiny. There is no power outside of you that controls your life. Everything you need is already within. This teaching not only empowers, it makes you responsible. Because if you have everything within, you can no longer blame, you can no longer wait, you can no longer flee. So, what's next? Recognize that everything begins with the mental image you choose to hold of yourself. And that image must be clear, strong, rich, not out of arrogance, but because it is what you really are. Start today. Close your eyes and see yourself achieving what you desire, not as a dream, but as a decision. Once your mind believes it, your reality manifests it. This chapter is not just another story, it is a portal. If you cross, there is no return, because once you know who you are, you cannot go back to acting as if you didn't know. And if you have come this far, it is because you are already crossing. Comment now. I am already wealth, to engrave it in your mind and activate this principle. Chapter 5. Activating the power that is already within you. You don't need to obtain anything more to be rich. You already have everything within you. You only need to awaken that power. How many times have you looked in the mirror wishing to change something? Your bank account, your job, your confidence level. But the truth is this: there is nothing outside that you must change first. Everything begins inside. Wealth is not sought, it is recognized because it is in you from the beginning. The enigmatic book makes it clear. You were born rich. It is not a metaphor. It is a truth you have forgotten for years, but is about to change everything. Think about this. What makes an apple seed produce apples? What invisible force leads it to develop, bloom, and bear fruit? That same force, that same perfect design is within you. Your mind has a built-in pattern of success. It's just that you were never taught how to activate it. Everything you need to create wealth is already within you. What is missing is the permission to believe it. And that permission you are giving yourself right now by listening to this, by being here. Look around you. Many are still waiting for a miracle, for the boss to change, for the economy to improve, for luck to smile on them. But you have taken a step further. You are awakening. You have accepted the possibility that everything you seek is already with you. The question is not whether you can achieve it. The question is, are you ready to remember what you already are? There is a part of you that already knows this, that always knew it. That inner voice that whispers to you when everyone sleeps. That intuition that tells you you are destined for more. That sensation you had as a child when you dreamed big and felt everything was possible. You are not here to survive. You are here to shine, to expand, to manifest limitless abundance. The enigmatic book invites you to stop looking outside, to close your eyes and look within, because inside you there is a gold mine waiting to be discovered. And how do you access that mine? Through your thinking, through your faith, through a firm decision to no longer settle for less than you deserve. This is the moment. You are no longer someone seeking answers. You are the answer. You are no longer someone asking for permission. You are the one who grants permission. You are no longer a seeker of wealth. You are the source of wealth. And from this chapter onward, you are going to act as such. The key is not in having more. It is in being more. And you are already more than you have been told. Now commit. Make a pact with yourself that you will no longer ignore your greatness, that you will no longer allow fear to be your guide, that you will no longer live as if you were incomplete because you were born with the right to wealth. And this book, this moment, this awakening did not come by chance. They came because you are ready. Chapter 6. The change that transforms everything. You don't need to be someone different. You just need to remember who you really are. Since you started listening to this message, something inside you began to awaken. It is not a coincidence. What you are feeling is your true identity trying to express itself because you were born rich. But I'm not just referring to money, I'm referring to power, to value, to the abundance that lives within you. And this chapter is a portal. You already have within you everything necessary to achieve anything you desire. You can read that again because it's not a nice phrase. It's a powerful truth that will change your life if you accept it. You lack nothing. What may be lacking is the awareness of what you have. Because as long as you keep believing you are insufficient, the world will keep reflecting more lack to you. But when you align with what you already are, everything around you begins to respond with abundance. And it is here where the true change begins. It's not about striving more, it's not about doing more, it's about being more because once you are, everything else comes as a byproduct. Most live conditioned by the external, the economy, the environment, past mistakes. But that is like looking in the rearview mirror to move forward. You cannot create a bright future if your mind is anchored in what didn't work. Change your perception and you will change your reality. This principle is simple but transformative. And if you apply it with conviction, the universe has no choice. It must respond. How do you change your perception? Start by changing your thoughts. Every time you catch yourself saying, "I can't," change it to, "I am learning how to achieve it." Every time you feel fear, remind yourself, "I have a power within me that nothing and no one can take away." Your internal dialogue is the programming that directs your life. And now let's go to something deep. The image you have of yourself. Because what you believe about yourself is what you allow, tolerate, and manifest. You are the only problem you will ever have, and you are the only solution. This phrase from the enigmatic book is direct and perhaps uncomfortable, but powerful because it gives you control. Stop waiting for someone to rescue you, for the government to change, for your family to understand you. That change you are waiting for is you. Today is the moment to make a decision, to stop living from limitation and begin to live from the consciousness of wealth. And how do you do it? Visualize yourself already being that person you desire to be. Feel it, live it in your mind. Act as if it were already real and then move from that energy because when your mind accepts a new identity, your reality begins to organize itself to support it. This is not magic. It is law. Remember this. There is nothing more powerful than a human being conscious of their own value, and you are already awakening to that. Chapter 7. The secret that was always inside you. Everything you could desire, everything you long for is already within you. You don't need to ask for permission, you just need to remember it. Have you ever felt limited? As if something invisible prevented you from moving forward, even though you know you have potential. That feeling of being destined for more but not knowing why you haven't achieved it yet. This chapter is a bridge, one that takes you from self-deception to truth, from forgetfulness to awakening. You already possess unlimited wealth. The problem is not whether you have it or not, but whether you recognize it and claim it. This phrase is not metaphor. It is a spiritual, mental, and energetic declaration. Because you were not created to survive, you were created to create. You did not come here to beg for opportunities, but to generate realities. Imagine for a moment that within you exists an immense power, dormant, calm, but present. You have not lost it, you have only ignored it. And that ignorance, that disconnection from what you really are, is the only thing that has kept you away from a life of abundance. The great author makes it clear. You don't have to become something different. You just have to stop acting like someone you are not. Think about that. Since we were little, many of us were trained to see life as scarcity. We were told, money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work hard to earn something. Don't ask for so much. And without realizing it, we adopted those beliefs as if they were universal laws, but they are not. The true power is in consciousness, in your ability to know that you are already wealth and that everything else is a projection of that internal state. It's not magic, it's spiritual science. When you know who you are, when you walk with conviction and not with doubt, reality changes. People feel it, opportunities recognize it. The universe aligns because you are no longer waiting, you are radiating. And this is not for a select few, this is for you. You who are listening to this not by chance, but because you are ready, because your soul has said, enough of living in lack. And now it demands a life where fullness is not a dream, but a standard. The great trap of the mind is believing that you need to do more, work more, strive more. But the truth is that the first thing you need is to be more conscious of what you already are. And when that happens, the external begins to reflect your internal truth. Do you want more money? Be wealth. Do you want love? Be love. Do you want freedom? Be mentally free first. It's not about doing to have, it's about being to manifest. When your identity changes, your world changes. That is the core of this chapter. A silent truth that, if you embrace it, dismantles every invisible chain that has bound you. So today, just for today, see yourself differently, feel differently. Walk with the certainty that everything you desire already exists and is only waiting for you to claim it, because you did not come to seek wealth, you came to make it. And if this message ignites something within you, subscribe now and comment. I was born to be wealth, because what you are about to create will be greater than you imagine. Chapter 8. Expand your consciousness and wealth will follow you. Money is not what you need. What you need is to expand your level of consciousness to attract it. This message is not casual. It is a reminder that your true wealth is not out there. It is inside you, and when you expand your consciousness, the external world responds with abundance. Everything you have been seeking already exists. The question is your mind prepared to receive it? The enigmatic book states forcefully, you cannot attract more wealth if your mind continues to operate with patterns of poverty. Do you understand? It is not a matter of luck or physical effort, it is a matter of perception. What limits your abundance is not the economy, nor the government, nor your boss. It is your level of consciousness. And this is revolutionary because it implies you can change it today. When you change your way of thinking, what you see also changes. When you elevate your consciousness, you begin to attract ideas, opportunities, and people that are in harmony with your new vision. And here is the key. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. Are you feeling the truth behind these words? Imagine for a moment that your mind is like a radio station. If you are tuned to the frequency of scarcity, you will only receive scarcity. But if you change your internal frequency, you begin to receive signals of wealth. It's that simple and that powerful. Now I ask you, how do you change that frequency? The answer lies in your imagination. Yes, the same faculty you used as a child and that the system taught you to ignore. Imagination is the workshop of your soul. It is there where you begin to shape your external world. Every mental image you hold with emotion is a seed. If you water it with repetition and belief, it germinates into reality. That's why the enigmatic book insists. You must see yourself already in possession of the wealth you desire, not as a fantasy, but as a present fact. This is not cheap motivation, it is an unbreakable mental law. Many fail because they expect to see results before changing their mind, but it works the other way around. First, you change your consciousness, then reality aligns with you. Do you want to attract more money? Then begin to think of yourself as a prosperous, abundant, generous, secure person. Your bank account is nothing more than a delayed reflection of your consciousness. And if today you don't have what you desire, don't blame yourself. It only means you have a new level to reach. That change begins now here with this understanding. You were not made for scarcity. You were designed to create, to expand, to live in fullness. The universe does not reward the one who sacrifices the most. It rewards the one who vibrates with clarity, faith, and purpose. So close your eyes, imagine the life you desire. Feel that it is already yours and affirm from the soul, I am wealth in expansion. My mind is ready. The universe responds to me now. Chapter 9. The silent language of money. Money doesn't speak, but it says a lot. Money is a form of energy, and like all energy, it responds to your thoughts, your emotions, and above all, your vibration. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract money easily while others struggle all their lives without achieving it? The difference is not in what they do, but in what they are internally, in how they think, in how they feel, in how they vibrate in relation to the idea of abundance. The enigmatic book reminds us of an uncomfortable truth. You do not attract what you desire, you attract what you are. You can repeat abundance affirmations for hours. You can work tirelessly, but if in your interior there is scarcity, fear, guilt, or conflict with money, it will sense it and move away. Because money has a language. It doesn't use words, but it reads your vibration perfectly. Now listen to this. Money flows to those who honor it, respect it, and appreciate it. Not to those who fear it, blame it, or reject it. Have you ever felt guilty for having money or for desiring more? Were you told that money is dirty, that it is bad, that it corrupts? Those beliefs are embedded in your subconscious like poisonous roots, and as long as you don't pull them out, every attempt to prosper will be like swimming against the current. But here is the power. You can reprogram yourself. You can teach your mind a new language, the language of wealth. And when you do, money will start looking for you because it will feel that you are finally ready. The great author summarizes it in a single sentence. When you become a magnet for money, you don't need to chase it. It will come to you. And this is not metaphor, it is science. It is the law of vibration. It is the frequency you emit every day. Now ask yourself this sincere question. Am I vibrating in fear, lack, pressure, or in gratitude, security, expansion? Your relationship with money reflects your relationship with yourself. If you feel you are not enough, if you don't value yourself, if you live comparing yourself, then your financial reality will be an exact copy of that feeling. But if you start to value yourself, to feel deserving, to live with gratitude for what you already have, something changes because you change and money follows that change. It is not money that makes you valuable. It is you, upon recognizing your value, who attracts money. Do this exercise today. Take a coin, look at it, thank it, feel a real appreciation for it. Then repeat in a low voice, thank you for teaching me that I am ready for more. Do this with bills. Do it when you pay. Do it when you receive. You are training your mind in the new language, the silent language of abundance. And if you still have doubts, remember this. Money does not transform people, it only reveals what they already were. Therefore, do not fear money, do not reject it. Do not say you don't need it, because as long as you deny it, you are also denying your power, your capacity to create, your right to live in fullness. You were born to prosper. And this book did not come to you by chance. It came because your soul already knows what you deserve and money is listening. Chapter 10. Everything begins in your imagination. Imagination is the most powerful faculty of the human being. What you can see in your mind, you can hold in your hand. Stop for a moment and look around you. Everything you see, the screen you are using, the chair you sit on, the clothes you wear, it was once just an idea, a thought, an image in someone's mind. This is one of the most powerful secrets revealed in the enigmatic book. You are not limited by your current situation. You are limited by your capacity to imagine something better and believe it is possible, because wealth does not start in the bank but in your mind. Your current bank account is nothing more than a reflection of your internal ideas. your mental patterns about money, abundance, and your value. And do you know what the big problem is? Many use their imagination against themselves. They imagine debts, failures, problems. They visualize fear, doubts, scarcity. And since the mind does not distinguish between the real and the imagined, that is what they end up manifesting. But you who are here listening to this are already ready to change that. You are ready to use your imagination as a creator, not as a victim. You cannot attract anything into your life that you have not first seen within yourself. That phrase is not just inspiring, it is a law. It is one of the mental laws that govern your reality. And if you learn to apply it consciously, you can transform your world completely. How to do it? Close your eyes. Visualize yourself as already rich. Not as someone who someday will be rich, but as someone who already is, who lives it, who feels it, who breathes it. Imagine the details, where you live, how your day is, what clothes you wear, what conversations you have, how you move. And here comes the most important part. You don't need to know how it will happen. You only need to know that you want it and feel that it is already yours. That how will come because when your mind is convinced, the entire universe conspires to show you the way. Do you think the great geniuses, artists, entrepreneurs, and leaders achieved their dream just by luck? No, they first imagined it, saw it, repeated it in their minds so many times that it became inevitable. This book says it forcefully. Imagination is not a childish game. It is a divine tool. You use it every day, whether you want to or not. The difference is whether you use it to create your abundance or to reinforce your scarcity. Today, right now, decide what you want to see. Do not limit yourself by your current reality because this is only the reflection of your past thinking. Start building from within, because when you see it here in your mind with emotion, with conviction, it is already on its way. And if this message is touching your soul, it is because you are ready. Ready to imagine something bigger, something more worthy of you, something that has always been waiting for you. It only needed you to imagine it first. Chapter 11. Activate it, the dormant power of the mental image. Have you ever felt that you are destined for something greater but don't know how to get there? It is not a coincidence. There is an image within you, hidden, waiting to be awakened, and when you activate it, everything changes. The image you maintain of yourself determines what you attract, what you reject, and what you live. Change your self-image and you will change your world. So affirms the enigmatic book. Because wealth is not just an external result, it is an expression of how you see yourself inside. Most people sabotage themselves without knowing it, not because they don't work enough, not because they don't desire it strongly, but because within themselves they continue to see themselves as limited, insufficient, or small. They tell themselves phrases like, "I'm not good with money, I don't deserve that much, wealth is not for me." And so the mental image they project becomes an invisible prison. But you are here listening to this because your moment has come to break that prison. Everything starts with a decision to create a new image of yourself, one where you see yourself as valuable, deserving, powerful, as someone capable of creating wealth, of attracting opportunities, of impacting the world. And here is the key. The subconscious does not distinguish between the real and the imagined. It believes in the image you feed with emotion. That means that if every day you see yourself mentally as an abundant being, if you feel that image is true, your mind will begin to act as if that were already real and the universe will respond to that frequency. Think of it this way. The mind is like a camera. What you focus on with clarity manifests with force. If you focus on scarcity, you will attract more of the same. But if you focus on your inner abundance, on your power to create, your life will begin to reflect that image. Do it every day. Sit in silence, close your eyes, and visualize yourself as already rich, already free, already at peace. See yourself with clarity. Detail how you live, how you walk, how you speak. Feel that image as true. Allow that emotion to seal it within you because that is not just fantasy, it is an order to the universe. Everything you can visualize with clarity and feel with faith, you can turn into reality. That is the promise of this principle, and it is here where those who simply dream are separated from those who transform their reality, those who wait for something to change, from those who change their image and with it change their world. You don't need more willpower or to work harder. You need to see yourself in a different way and hold that image with determination. Because the mental image is not just an idea, it is a magnet. And when you configure it correctly, everything begins to turn in your favor. So look at yourself now with new eyes. You are abundant, you are deserving, you are wealth in motion. Chapter 12. The change of identity, being born again into wealth. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. That phrase changes everything because it's not about chasing wealth, nor working harder, nor waiting for luck. It's about something much deeper, becoming a person who naturally vibrates in abundance. When you change your perception of yourself, you change your world. That's what the enigmatic book teaches. And it's not a nice metaphor, it is a universal law. Most people look in the mirror and define themselves by their mistakes, their past failures, by what others told them they were. I am poor, I am limited, I am a struggler. But what would happen if you stopped identifying with that story and started seeing yourself as the powerful creator you really are? That is the secret, changing the internal identity. Because the subconscious does not execute what you desire, it executes what you believe you are. If within you there is a self that feels small, indebted, unworthy, then no matter how much you visualize, affirm, or struggle, that internal energy will always bring you back the same external reality. You cannot earn more money than you believe you deserve. And the most brutal thing is that this is not about deserving in an ethical or moral sense. It's about perception. Do you allow yourself to receive more? Do you feel comfortable earning 10 times more? Can you imagine being truly free without guilt or fear? Many cannot bear it. They sabotage themselves just when everything starts working. Why? Because deep down they have not yet become someone capable of sustaining that new life. So here is a key question. Are you willing to die to your old identity? Because this process is a rebirth. It implies leaving behind thoughts, excuses, emotions, and even people that were aligned with your old self. You cannot enter your new life with the mentality of the past. You cannot be wealth if you are still carrying the label of the struggler who survives. Imagine this. Someone wakes up every morning and affirms, I am free, I am abundant, money flows to me. But they live in fear of spending, feel guilt when charging, and believe the rich are greedy. What do they gain? Nothing, because they have not transformed into that being of wealth. They just repeat phrases without changing their root. Transformation is not repeating phrases, it is changing who you are at a deep level. And for that, the enigmatic book proposes a simple but powerful practice. Act as if you already were the rich person you desire to be, not from arrogance but from certainty, not from appearance but from conviction. How would you walk? How would you make decisions? How would you respond to challenges if you already knew you were abundant, complete, and capable? Start living from that identity today, and then something magical happens. The universe responds not to your desires but to your vibration. Everything you seek is already seeking you, but it cannot find you until you are the person who can sustain it. Remember, wealth is not something you acquire, it is something you release from within. You were born rich. You just need to remember it and start living as such. Chapter 13. Change your internal image, change your destiny. You are not destined to be poor, you are destined to live in abundance. But your external reality will only reflect what you are capable of seeing within you. This principle is as powerful as it is ignored. It's not just about working harder, nor studying more, nor even having luck. It's about how you see yourself in the deepest part of your mind. When you look at the mental mirror of your consciousness, what do you see? Do you see someone successful, strong, full of power, and capable of attracting wealth? Or do you see someone limited, full of doubts, trapped in an old identity that repeats like an echo in every attempt to prosper? The image you have of yourself is the filter through which the universe interprets your desires. Do you want wealth? Perfect. But if inside you, you continue to see yourself as unworthy, lacking, or defeated, then you will be sabotaging every opportunity that presents itself. In the enigmatic book, it is affirmed with force. Everything that comes to you is in harmony with your self-image. Change your self-image and you will change everything you receive. It's not magic, it's energetic coherence, it's the law of correspondence. The universe does not give you what you desire. It gives you what you are. Do you realize how profound this is? You can repeat affirmations all day. You can read entire books. You can surround yourself with successful people, but if you do not rewrite the image you have of yourself, everything will be temporary. Your self-image is your internal thermostat, and if that thermostat is set to scarcity, to mediocrity, or to "I can't," then every time you advance you will unconsciously return to that point of origin. So today is the moment to look inward and be honest with yourself. What story are you telling yourself about who you are? Are you the one who always fails, the one who can't save, the one who never finishes what they start, the one who was born in poverty and will stay there? Or do you decide from now on to see yourself as the powerful being you truly are? In your mind there is a factory of images. Use that factory. Close your eyes and begin to see yourself as a rich, decisive, full, capable, deserving person. Don't let that image escape. Do it every day. See yourself as successful until you feel it true, until you believe it. Because when you believe a new identity, you create a new destiny. You cannot have a life of wealth with a mind of scarcity. And no matter how much you have failed before, the story can begin again today. True wealth does not begin in the bank nor in business. It begins in your consciousness. The enigmatic book repeats it over and over. You are the cause and your internal image is the master key. So look at yourself in the mirror tonight and repeat out loud, "I am wealth. I am the creator of my reality. I deserve to prosper." Do it until you feel it vibrate. Do it until your cells believe it. Because the day your self-image changes, that day, your life will never be the same again. Chapter 14. The real work is not to earn money. It is to raise your level of deservingness. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. This phrase from the enigmatic book is a door directly to the core of real change. Because money, wealth, abundance do not come to those who desire them, but to those who deeply believe they deserve them. And not with the mind, with the soul. Imagine for a moment that the universe functions like a great mirror. It does not reflect your fleeting thoughts nor your intense desires. It reflects your self-image, the story you tell about yourself, the energy with which you present yourself to the world, the level of deservingness you have programmed in your subconscious. The image you have of yourself is the key to change. If you don't modify it, everything will return to how it was before. Has it ever happened to you that after earning good money you feel something sabotages you? Impulsive spending, bad decisions, or simply the money disappears without explanation? This is not coincidence. It is your self-image reclaiming balance, returning you to the point it considers normal for you. And that point is not defined by logic, it is defined by your deepest emotional programming. What you saw in your childhood, what you heard from your parents about money, what you believe you are worth. This is where this chapter becomes powerful. It's not just about learning to generate wealth, but about accepting it, integrating it as something natural in your life, about stopping seeing it as a miracle or as something that happens to others. When you truly see yourself as a rich person, money cannot avoid coming to you. We are not talking about arrogance, we are talking about identity. A powerful, coherent, clean identity. An identity that says, "I am wealth, I am abundance, I am enough." Do an exercise. Close your eyes, breathe, and ask yourself, what amount of money do I believe is normal for me? What lifestyle do I believe corresponds to me? How does my body react to imagining millions in my account? What you feel is the key. If there is discomfort, doubt, or fear, your level of deservingness needs work. You cannot attract what your system rejects. And here comes the great gift of this book. It teaches you to reprogram yourself, not from force, not from effort, but from emotional repetition, powerful visualization, and connection with what you truly are. You are an expression of unlimited intelligence. Why would you live in scarcity if your origin is the infinite source? When you align your mind with your inner truth, everything that once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. This chapter asks you one thing: raise your internal standard. Do not accept less. Do not settle. Do not make excuses. Your mission is not just to dream, it is to become someone who embodies those dreams. Do not work just for money. Work to become a magnet for prosperity. And if something inside you resists, do not repress it. Observe it, embrace it, and replace it. Repeat this phrase every day. I deserve to be rich because being rich allows me to serve more, give more, and expand more. You are not selfish for wanting more. You are brave for breaking with generations of scarcity. This book found you because you are ready. And if you feel it, comment below. I am reprogramming my deservingness. Chapter 15. Your mind is a magnet. Activate it. Everything that comes to you is in harmony with the image you have of yourself. Imagine for a moment that your mind is a magnet, but not just any magnet. One so powerful that it attracts towards you people, opportunities, money, and situations that exactly match your internal frequency. Now, what are you attracting? Many look outside for what can only be activated inside. They chase money, success, love, without knowing they are already a magnet. But one that is perhaps working against them, because the mind never stops attracting, even when you are not conscious of what you emit. The enigmatic book says it clearly. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. And what you are is determined by your self-image, your internal vibration, your deep beliefs. Do you realize the power that holds? If your mind sees itself as lacking, it will attract scarcity. If your heart feels unworthy, it will attract rejection. If your energy is based on fear, it will attract more reasons to fear. But if you elevate your identity, if you begin to see yourself as wealth, as pure abundance, as someone who already possesses everything internally, your external world will change completely. The key is in the paradigm. That invisible structure that directs your life is the set of beliefs you accepted as true since your childhood. Some empower you, but many others limit you without you knowing it. That's why it is so important not just to desire new things, but to become someone new. Do you want to attract wealth? Then start to act, think, speak, and feel like someone who already has it. It's not about pretending, it's about integrating. Do you want extraordinary relationships? Be that extraordinary person first. Do you want freedom? Break the invisible chains you have carried for years. Your fears, your guilt, your feeling of not deserving. This is not magic, it is law, it is vibration. The enigmatic book reaffirms it again and again. Your mind can transform everything because you were born rich, but it is not enough to understand it intellectually. You must feel it, embody it, repeat it, imagine it, live it until your subconscious accepts it as a new truth. Then and only then the magnet aligns and the magic begins. And do you know what is most powerful? That you don't have to change the world, you only have to change your inner world. When you do, everything around you begins to reflect it. It's not arrogance, it's consciousness. It's not fantasy, it's mental physics. You decide if you use your mind as a magnet for chaos or as a magnet for miracles. Rewrite your self-image. Activate your frequency of abundance. Declare, I am wealth and everything I need comes to me with ease and joy. Say it with certainty, visualize it with passion. Feel it as if it were already done. And if you are listening to this, it is not coincidence. It is because your soul is already ready to receive this message. Because you already knew it, you just needed to remember it. Chapter 16. Program your mind to receive. You have to be before you can do, and you must do before you can have. This phrase reveals a powerful truth. Wealth does not begin in your bank account, but in your mind. Most people try to change their external world without having first conquered their inner world. That is why, even if they earn money, they lose it. Even if they strive, they sabotage themselves. Because what is not aligned within never manifests outside in a lasting way. The subconscious does not reason, it only accepts what is repeated to it with emotion. Therein lies the secret many ignore. Your subconscious mind is like fertile soil. It does not question, it does not compare. It only accepts and produces according to the seeds you sow, your repeated thoughts, your intense emotions, your dominant beliefs. That is why, if you are always thinking in scarcity, fear, or doubt, that is what you are ordering the universe. Even if you say you desire abundance, if you feel fear of money, you will never retain it. The enigmatic book explains it clearly. If you want true wealth, you must begin by reprogramming your mind. How is this done? Through the constant repetition of positive thoughts and clear visualizations, through daily auto-suggestion, but not in any way, not with empty words, but with affirmations charged with intention and emotion. For example, repeat every morning, I am ready to receive unlimited wealth. Abundance flows to me effortlessly. And don't say it as if you hope it works. Say it because you already feel it real, because you are convinced it will be so, because you recognize you were born with that right. If you wish to change your life, change your mental image. Here is another master key: your self-image. You cannot attract what you do not believe you deserve. If internally you see yourself as small, insecure, limited, no matter how much effort you put outside, you will always crash against an invisible barrier. That barrier is yourself. Do you want to transform everything? Change how you see yourself. Begin to see yourself as someone successful, valuable, powerful, someone who inspires, who leads, who lives with purpose. Your subconscious will obey that new image and begin to guide you towards circumstances that reflect it. The external world is a mirror of your inner world. That is the great truth this enigmatic book wants you to understand. You are not here to beg for wealth, but to claim it. You don't have to chase money, but learn to become the magnet that attracts it. Everything begins in your mind. Everything is decided within you. So today, make a brave choice. Program your mind to receive. Repeat it with conviction. Visualize your full life. Feel as if you already had it, because if you hold it within you, you will see it manifest outside. You don't have to know how it will occur. You just have to trust that what you are inside will inevitably be reflected outside. Chapter 17. The bridge between your mind and your reality. You are not here to struggle to survive. You are here to manifest, to create, to expand your life from the inside out. And that power has always been within you. And if you feel this knowledge is igniting something within you, subscribe now and comment. I am creating my reality from my mind. The mind is the highest part of your being. Everything you see in your physical world began as an image in your mind. This phrase comes to us because it is brutally true. There is no wealth, relationship, achievement, or failure that did not begin as an idea, a mental image. The mind is the silent architect of your destiny, and even more impactful is to understand that you and only you have control of that creative tool. When you understand that the bridge between the invisible and the visible is within you, the game changes. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. You are the engineer of them. And that bridge is built with sustained mental images, beliefs, and emotions. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. This is not a metaphor, it is a law. What you hold firm in your mind with clarity, intensity, and emotion inevitably seeks to express itself in your reality. That is the nature of the mental universe we live in. That's why it's not enough to desire, you must visualize. It's not enough to want, you must feel as if it were already real. Imagine this for a moment, a bridge between your current state and your dreamed life. That bridge is not made of wood or stone. It is made of mental images, of repeated thoughts, of focused emotions. Every time you visualize your goal with faith, you place a plank on that bridge. Every time you believe more in yourself, you reinforce it. Every time you act from that vision, you take a step forward. Do not expect something to change outside until something changes inside. How many times have we asked for things to improve without changing what we think and feel every day? This chapter is not just a teaching, it is a loving warning. If you do not transform your mind, you will be condemned to repeat your current reality over and over. The enigmatic book makes it clear. The conscious mind chooses the images, and the subconscious mind converts them into form, but the subconscious does not reason. It does not analyze whether what you are seeing or feeling is desired or not. It only obeys. That's why if you are constantly focused on lack, on debt, on fear, that is what you keep projecting. But here is the opportunity. If you can discipline yourself to see what you desire, even if it does not exist yet, if you can close your eyes and feel rich, full, at peace, you will be sending the most powerful order to the universe. Everything is waiting for you to decide to see it clearly. Wealth, health, love, freedom. It is not the world that limits you, it is your mental image that defines how far you can go. When you change your image, you change your reality. And that is the message of this chapter. Take control of your mind and you will see how everything begins to align. You are the bridge, you are the image, you are the cause. Reality is only waiting for your signal. Chapter 18. Break the chains of conditioning. When something inside you says, "This is not all there is," you are awakening. You are remembering that you were born for more. The enigmatic book affirms it with force. You are not trapped by conditions, you are trapped by a false belief about them. And if all that holds you back is nothing more than a story, a narrative you repeat without questioning, one that you inherited, that you absorbed, but that you never consciously chose. Since we are born, we are programmed. We are taught what is possible, what we deserve, what can or cannot be done according to our environment. They shape us with phrases like, "Money doesn't grow on trees, work hard and maybe you'll get lucky," or "Life is a struggle." And without realizing it, we become guardians of those limiting beliefs. We become the jailers of our own inner wealth. But the enigmatic book makes it clear. You are not limited by anything except by yourself. Do you see? You are not your past. You are not your current bank account. You are not your mistakes. You are infinite consciousness trapped in an invisible cage, and today you are finding the key. When you begin to challenge those beliefs, the universe begins to respond. When you stop saying, "I can't," and dare to ask, "What if yes," something changes. It's as if the mental walls begin to crumble. Your environment may be chaotic. You may have grown up in lack, in emotional or financial scarcity, but that does not define you. That has no power if you no longer give it power. The book explains it with power. Success is not a matter of location, education, or luck. It is a matter of thought. And it is that everything you have experienced until now has been the reflection of your level of consciousness. If you think wealth is distant, it will remain so. If you think money is bad, you will continue to reject it without realizing it. But if today you decide to think differently, act differently, and feel differently, the change will be inevitable. Because when you change internally, reality is forced to follow you. Why do you think this book found you right now? It was not coincidence. It was your soul attracting the answer. It was your higher mind telling you, "Enough of living half-heartedly." This is the moment to break the invisible chains that bind you to a life that does not reflect your true potential. Imagine for a moment what your life would be like if you had no fear. If you stopped believing in others' limits, what could you build, achieve, or create from that freedom? Everything begins with an internal decision, a silent rebellion against the old programming, a deep determination to no longer think as poor, speak as a victim, or act as someone who does not deserve. Because you deserve, because you can, because you were born rich. And if you still doubt, just remember this last phrase from the book. Within you there is an unlimited source of power. It only waits for you to recognize it. Chapter 19. Your internal image defines your reality. Your external world is an exact reflection of the image you carry inside. Imagine waking up every morning with the certainty that life is on your side, that every step, every word, every decision is aligned with a powerful inner truth. You were born to be wealth, and that truth, when engraved in your mind, changes absolutely everything. You are not in this world to fight for success. You are success expressing itself from the inside out. The enigmatic book reveals something that radically transforms the way we live. Your internal image is the cause and your external reality is the effect. No matter what you have lived, no matter your past, the only thing that matters is what you are willing to imagine about yourself. Now, most people try to change their life by changing external conditions, their job, their partner, their money, their city. But that is the path of effort, not of power. True change does not start outside, it starts within. You cannot have more in life than what you have first granted yourself to be mentally. That means that if you do not see yourself as a prosperous, secure, valuable person, no amount of effort will give you lasting results. You can work hard, you can be talented, but if your internal image is full of doubts, fear, and scarcity, that is what you will attract again and again. Stop for a moment and observe what image you hold of yourself when you close your eyes. Do you see yourself as powerful? Do you see yourself full of value? Do you see yourself receiving effortlessly all the good that life has? If not, here is the key. Begin to build within you the image of the person you desire to be. Do not wait to have proof. The proof will come later. The cause is your image. This is not empty imagination. It is a universal law. Just as the blueprint determines the building, your mind creates your life. The enigmatic book insists, Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between the real and the vividly imagined. What you accept with faith, it will manifest as your experience. That is why, every day you must repeat the mental image of your abundant self. Not once, not when you have time, but as a daily, sacred, non-negotiable practice. Do it with emotion, with intention. Feel it, live it in your mind as if it were already true, because when you do, you are molding the invisible field that creates the visible. You are sowing in the only fertile soil that really matters, your interior. And here is the surprising part. When you hold that image firmly, reality begins to adjust. People, opportunities, money, ideas, everything begins to align with the vibration you are emitting, because life does not give you what you ask for, it gives you what you are. You do not need to struggle to change your reality. You only need to become a new version of yourself on the inside. No matter how long you have lived with an image of scarcity or limitation, today you can decide to transform it. And when you do, your entire life obeys. This book found you because you are ready to leave the old image behind and become the living magnet of all the wealth you desire. Your destiny is not out there. It is waiting inside you, ready to be awakened. Chapter 20. Prosperity is your natural state. Wealth is not something one acquires, but something one is born with. With these words, the enigmatic book shakes all our limiting beliefs. You did not come to this life to fight to have money. You came with the capacity to create it from within. Many believe that abundance is a matter of luck, contacts, or privileges, but that is just the story we were told to keep us trapped. The truth is this: prosperity is your natural state, and if you are not experiencing it, it is because you have accepted a mistaken idea of yourself. What happens when a seed falls on fertile soil? It grows. And what happens when your mind aligns with the laws of abundance? You prosper. But if you live doubting your value, your deservingness, if you repeat phrases like, "Money is not for everyone," you are closing the channel through which wealth wants to arrive. The enigmatic book says, you are the channel through which the wealth of the universe flows. If the channel is obstructed with fear, guilt, or doubt, wealth cannot manifest. Do you realize? You don't have to become someone new, you only have to remove what obstructs. Your essence is already abundance. You are wealth even before having money in your hands. Think about this. The air does not run out when you breathe. There is no one telling you you've had enough oxygen for today. The universe is like that with everything, unlimited. It is the ego, the conditioned mind that believes in scarcity. The secret is in recognizing yourself as the channel, not as the beggar. When you understand that you are the one who gives permission for wealth to enter, you stop looking for it outside, you begin to awaken it within. It does not matter if your account is empty today, that does not define your true value. Your external world is only a reflection of your internal system. Change it from the root. How is that channel opened? With gratitude, with certainty, with a daily decision to see yourself as someone prosperous, even if the world says otherwise. A concrete example: a man with debts and no job began to repeat with faith, "I am wealth, I am abundance, I am an open channel of prosperity." He said it daily, he felt it, he lived it. Within a few months he got an unexpected opportunity and his financial life changed completely. Was it luck? No. It was an internal reprogramming. Wealth does not come to those who chase it with desperation. It comes to those who embody it with certainty. And you, how do you see yourself each day? As a channel blocked by fear or as an unlimited source of creation? This chapter is a direct invitation to return to your original design. You were not born to survive. You were born to create, multiply, manifest. You are part of infinite intelligence. The same one that makes planets spin and trees bloom is within you, waiting for you to trust and act as what you really are. So take a deep breath, look at yourself in the mirror and say firmly, "I am wealth. I am the channel through which the prosperity of the universe flows." Don't just say it with your mouth. Feel it, repeat it, live it. Because that is your origin and also your destiny. Chapter 21. Money responds to your feeling. And yes, money does not respond to your efforts but to your emotional frequency. And yes, without realizing it, you are rejecting what you so yearn for simply because of what you feel about it. Money does not come to you because you work hard, but because your inner state is aligned with abundance. This principle is so simple that most ignore it, but it is in that simplicity where its power hides. Because everything, absolutely everything, responds to what you are emitting emotionally. It is not your intention that determines the result, but your vibration. And vibration translates into one thing: your feelings. The enigmatic book leaves no room for doubt. The universe does not listen to your words, it listens to your emotion. And if your emotion is tinged with fear, worry, scarcity, or doubt, even if you affirm wealth, even if you visualize abundance, you will attract the opposite. How many times have you said, "I want more money," but inside you there is anxiety? That is the mistake, because deep down you are saying, "I don't have, I can't, it's not enough." And that is what manifests. No matter how many books you read or how much you strive, if you do not feel that you are already wealth, you will not attract it. That clear, that profound. So how do we change this? How do you change an emotion that seems automatic? The answer is practice. Start feeling from now on what you would feel if you already had everything you desire. Do it even if your mind resists, even if your bank account says otherwise, even if the environment seems to shout you can't. Why? Because as soon as your emotion changes, the energetic field you project also changes, and the universe cannot ignore a powerful and coherent signal. Imagine that money is a person. Would you attract someone if you are always speaking badly of them? If you distrust? If you internally reject them? Of course not. Money is energy, and like all energy, it wants to feel welcome. That is why the enigmatic book tells us, you must be the perfect receiver before you can receive. It's not about deserving, it's about vibrating in tune, about becoming a natural magnet. You don't force it, you emanate it, you live it, you give thanks for it before it arrives. And when you do that, it comes because it is law. Now stop for a second. Ask yourself with sincerity, what do you feel when you think about money? Fullness or pressure, gratitude or worry? That answer reveals your frequency and what you are attracting, but here is the powerful hope. You can change it this instant. You don't need years of therapy nor external conditions. Only an internal decision. Choose to feel wealth even before having it. Start with something simple. Give thanks for what you already have, even if it's little. Celebrate every coin, every income, every act of provision. That creates the correct signal. And when you catch yourself returning to fear, don't punish yourself. Just return to the center. Remember, your emotion is the key and you control it because you were born rich. You just need to remember it and feel it. And if you are here, if this message is touching something within you, it is not coincidence. The book found you because you are ready, and that changes everything. Now comment, I am aligning my emotion with wealth, to declare that your energy is already emitting the correct frequency. Chapter 22. Attitude, the energy that lifts you up or sinks you. A good attitude does not guarantee success, but a bad attitude guarantees failure. So begins this chapter. Because no matter how much knowledge you have, how many books you read, or how many strategies you know, if your attitude does not vibrate at the frequency of success, nothing will move. Absolutely nothing. Attitude is the dominant energy you emit to the world. It is what others feel even before you speak. It is invisible but powerful. And the most incredible thing is that you choose your attitude every day, in every moment. Have you noticed that? Your mind can be full of negative thoughts, and yet you can choose to respond with enthusiasm, with calm, with faith. People who are rich in spirit do not wait for things to go well to feel good. They feel good, and that's why things start to go well. And this changes everything, because wealth is not a coincidence, it is a consequence. The consequence of a constant attitude of abundance, of deservingness, of purpose. People who master their attitude become living magnets for success. Do you want to attract more opportunities? Adopt an attitude of gratitude. Do you want to attract more money? Adopt an attitude of confidence. Do you want to attract more powerful connections? Adopt an attitude of generosity and authentic joy. Attitude is not a reaction, it is a decision. That says it all, because most people live reacting. They react to scarcity, they react to the news, they react to the fear of others. But you are not here to react, you are here to lead, to decide how you are going to feel, even when nothing seems to be in your favor. And here comes a key from the enigmatic book. When you take responsibility for your attitude, you take responsibility for your destiny. And do you know why this is so important? Because no one can control your attitude except you. It is the only power they can never take from you. You can be financially bankrupt and still have a millionaire's attitude, and that attitude is the seed of everything else. Do you remember any time in your life when everything was wrong and you decided to smile? That moment transformed you because your energy changed. And when your energy changes, the world reacts differently with you. That is not magic, it is law. You cannot attract prosperity from an attitude of complaint. You cannot attract opportunities if your energy is of criticism, of blame, of resistance. That's why attitude is the key, because your attitude speaks before your words. It is what people feel from you before you say a single phrase. And if you are watching this, if you have come this far, one thing is clear. You are ready to have an attitude of wealth, an unshakable attitude, an attitude that inspires, that elevates, that transforms. Don't forget it. The right attitude can turn a dark day into the prelude to your greatest miracle. Now tell me in the comments what attitude you will choose today to attract the life you deserve. Write it with firmness, because when you write it, you make it reality. Chapter 23. The decision that changes the game. At the exact moment you decide you are no longer going to live as before, the entire universe begins to move with you. Indecision is the thief of opportunity. These words echo in the hallways of success. It is not lack of talent nor lack of time that keeps most people trapped in mediocrity. It is lack of decision. It is that constant maybe tomorrow, when I have time, when I am ready. But the truth is harsh. Decision is the bridge between desire and achievement. Making a decision is not just choosing a path. It is closing the door to everything that holds you back. It is telling your mind, we are going in that direction and there is no turning back. It is having the courage to look uncertainty in the eye and keep moving forward anyway, because true power is not in knowing what to do. It is in deciding to do it. How many times have you had a brilliant idea and let it go because you didn't feel prepared? How many opportunities knocked on your door and you yourself closed it because you doubted yourself? What you are feeling now, that discomfort, that fire in your chest, that intuition that screams, is your soul reminding you that you are ready to make a great decision. Deciding is the first step to manifesting the wealth that already dwells within you. When you decide from the heart without negotiating with fear, something activates, your thoughts align, your emotions adjust, and the world begins to reflect that internal change with new doors, new people, and new circumstances. But here is the part no one wants to hear. Deciding implies renouncing. Renouncing your excuses, renouncing your old story, renouncing I can't. And that act of letting go of what no longer serves you, even if it is uncomfortable, is what liberates you. There is a law in this enigmatic book that summarizes it all. Decide what you want, believe you already have it, and act as if it were inevitable. This triad is the formula for transformation. Decide, act, 3 actions, a completely different life. And no, we are not just talking about money, we are talking about wealth of purpose, real well-being, inner freedom, because money without decision is just chaos. But a decided mind turns every coin into a seed of abundance. Imagine it. You wake up tomorrow with absolute clarity. You know what you want, you do not doubt, you do not ask for permission. You do not wait for validation, you take action. What would change? Where would you arrive if you took today that decision you keep postponing? This chapter is not asking you to have everything figured out. It is only asking you to decide to move forward. Clarity will come along the way. Help will appear when you need it, but nothing will move if you do not move first. And if you are here listening to this, it is not coincidence. It is because you already know, because there is a part of you that is ready to stop surviving and start living, to stop observing the game and begin to play it with your soul ignited. Decide, do it now, because in that decision you are already wealth. Chapter 24. Your mind is the origin of all wealth. Everything that comes into your life you attract by the image you hold of yourself in your mind. You do not attract what you desire, you attract what you are. That phrase taken from the enigmatic book You Were Born Rich is not just an inspiring idea. It is a key, a door that if you decide to cross, transforms your world from the inside out. Perhaps you have worked hard, sought strategies, read financial advice, tried different paths. But if inside you there is an image of scarcity, of doubt, of lack, then that will be the reality you continue to manifest. Wealth is not something you pursue, it is something you activate from within. Do you want a true change? Then you need to reprogram the image you have of yourself. That mental image is like a magnet, powerful, silent, constant. If you see yourself as someone who still cannot, still does not know, still is not ready, your life will respond to you with experiences that confirm that vision. But if you see yourself as someone prosperous, capable, worthy, the universe has no choice. It aligns with you because the universe does not respond to your words, it responds to your energy. The image you hold in your mind controls your vibration, and your vibration is the bridge that attracts everything to your experience. Imagine for a moment that every thought is an invisible thread weaving your future. What are you building with your daily thoughts? A prison or a palace? Most people live in repetition mode. They repeat the same emotions, tell themselves the same stories, and that's why they live the same results. But you are here for a reason. This message is not a coincidence. This book found you because you are ready to remember who you really are, a being with the power to choose their world. Make it simple. Close your eyes every morning for a few minutes. Imagine yourself already being that rich, full, peaceful person. Feel it as if it were real, not because you are pretending, but because that is what you truly are. You only need to align. It is not what you have, it is what you are that determines your wealth. And if that is true, and it is, then your true mission is not to accumulate, it is to become. Become the channel of wealth, the living expression of abundance. Think about this. If a person who thinks in scarcity receives $1,000,000, they will probably lose it in a short time. But if a person with an abundance mentality loses everything, they will recreate it because they are wealth. So the big question is not, how do I get more money? The true question is, how do I become a living expression of wealth? And the answer begins with what you feed your mind each day. The great author repeats it in 1,000 ways. Your mind is a garden. If you plant images of power, power will grow. If you plant images of limitation, scarcity will grow. Today you can make the most important decision of your life. See yourself as the rich person you already are in essence. Feel that version of you. Walk like her, speak like her. The universe will follow your example. Chapter 25. You are the origin of all wealth. Everything you are looking for is already looking for you. It only needs you to recognize it. There is nothing in the exterior that can give you what you have not first allowed internally. And here you are listening to this. After having traveled an intense, revealing, impactful path of 24 chapters, now we reach the end. But this end is not a closure, it is an awakening. The great author wrote, "You were not created to compete, but to create." The true power resides in recognizing that wealth is not pursued, it is expressed. Do you realize that wealth you have so desired is not outside of you? It has always been waiting for you to realize what you already are, an inexhaustible channel of abundance. Many have lived believing that wealth is a prize you win, something that comes only to the fortunate. But the true wise understand something that changes everything. You are the source, not the beggar, not the spectator, the source. Wealth is not out there hidden in a bank, a job, a business, but asleep in your self-perception, in your capacity to accept yourself as someone who is already deserving, who already vibrates in prosperity. The enigmatic book reveals, the only limitation that exists between you and your fortune is the story you tell yourself daily. What story do you tell yourself? Do you see yourself as someone with limited luck, as someone who was not born to be rich? Then you have been rejecting the gold with your own hands. But if you have come this far, something in you has already changed. There is an inner voice that no longer stays quiet and shouts at you. Enough of living on the margins, enough of minimizing yourself. You are the origin of all wealth that will come into your life, because abundance is not forced. It is allowed when you decide to imagine yourself living in fullness, when you give thanks before receiving, when you act from faith and not from lack. There you are releasing the doors of the universe. Because as the great author said, the mind is fertile ground. Every thought zone, every sustained emotion will sooner or later bloom in your physical world. Do you see it now? You are no longer the same person who started this journey. You cannot go back. You already know that you were born rich, that there is nothing you must win, only something you must activate. The gold is not hidden, it is you. The key is not lost, it was always in your mind, and your moment is not in the future. It is now. Today the book ends, but your new life begins. A life where you recognize your power, a life where you honor your value, a life where you do not ask if you deserve wealth, but how you can share it. Because when you awaken, you inspire others to do the same. So subscribe now and comment, "I am already being wealth," so that the universe knows that you are already ready. And remember, the world does not need more people with fear, it needs more people like you, awake, bold, and ready to shine.